Welcome to today's lecture on the topic mucormycosis, a deadly opportunistic fungal pathogen infection which is seen in post-COVID patients. So let me give you an insight of this particular fungal disease which is seen in post-COVID patients, but I want to make you clear that this is not a new disease. This was there even before COVID-19. Okay, just now it is getting a light on this particular disease because they have seen that post COVID the patients are less immune, which means their immune system is not very strong. So once your immune system is not strong, we know that you can be a prey to many diseases. So one of this disease that can cause you is mucormycosis. So this is a fungal disease that is caused by mucus species or rhizopus species. So let me give you an insight of this particular disease. So coming to the table of contents, we will discuss about the introduction of this disease and how common is this disease, who are vulnerable to this disease, few warning signs, symptoms of this disease, how can you diagnose if you are suffering from this disease, how to prevent this disease, how to manage this particular condition in COVID patients, who and all are responsible here, and few treatments that are available for this disease and few takeaway messages. So coming to the introduction, so as I told you, this is a black fungal disease. So it is caused by mucormycetes or rhizopus. These are the fungal species that are seen in soil. They are also seen in dirty areas. So if you have a decomposing material, again, these are kind of organisms, that is molds, can grow on them and it becomes a opportunistic pathogen if you are working with these kind of areas. So you have to take care when you are working in these areas. So it is a rare fungal infection, and as per ICMR, Indian Council for Medical Research, they say that it can lead to fatal conditions in case it is affecting the COVID-19 patients and if it is not treated at the early stage. So detection of this and treatment, if it is done, then definitely it is not a fatal disease. So you have to understand these symptoms, try to find out if this disease is infected in you, and then you try to give suitable treatment steps so that this kind of fatal conditions can be avoided. So it is seen in patients who have comorbidities. So as we know, if the patient is suffering from COVID, plus he has other comorbidities, like if he is diabetic, if he is on some other medications also, he has reduced immunity, if he has undergone some kind of organ transplantation, if he has undergone some kind of stem cell transplantations, there definitely his immune system will be affected. So once your immune system is affected, this pathogen attacks you. So there you have to take care. So in case you are not taking this seriously, definitely it will lead to fatal conditions. There are a lot of cases seen where you have seen in newspapers that people have started losing their eyesight. Okay, so this can be very deadly condition. So even this fungus can affect different parts of your body. So if it is affecting your brain, it is very deadly condition. And according to CDC, they tell that this is not a contagious disease. That is, it doesn't spread from one person to another. So coming to how common is this disease, as I told you, it is not a very common disease, it is a rare disease. So just to give you a few statistics to show that this is not a very common disease. So this is the study which is done by CDC, and you can see the year in which they have done this particular statistic analysis. It is 2001 to 2006, and now we are in 2021. So you can see that this is not new. It was there even before. But now, because of this boom of COVID-19 and people are getting more aware about this medical conditions, they are getting scared because of this particular disease. So you can see there in 983 stem cell transplant recipients, only 77 were prone to this disease. And among 1,208 solid organ transplant recipients, approximately 28 were prone to this disease. So it is very rare, but still there is chance. Okay, so you should not neglect it. You should take care about your health and see to it that you're not prone to this kind of diseases. So coming to who are vulnerable, so as I told you, if you are a COVID-19 patient and you are prone to other comorbidities like hyperglycemia, or even in cases where you're staying in ICU for very long, the chances of this infection has been increased. Okay, because there is AC conditions there in ICU and they use a lot of steroids. Okay, when your oxygenation saturation is below 94%, they have seen that the use of steroids is leading to issues, because your immune system becomes weak when you use steroids, and because of which they do tell that don't use a lot of steroids. Use it judiciously so that your immune system is not compromised, and if your immune system compromises, we know that there are other issues coming up. That is one of this which we saw today, that is mucormycosis. So in this way, the body will lose its ability to fight the disease. So that is what is leading to trouble. So again, other comorbidities like cancer, organ transplant patients. So in these kind of patients, the chances of this kind of fungal infections can be more. So we have already seen few cases in Delhi, Maharashtra, Gujarat, and if we do not take care about this particular disease, and we are careless, then definitely it can lead to fatal conditions also. So coming to a little bit detail on how this particular disease spreads. So basically this kind of fungal spores by these organisms, that is either mucus species, will be there in the air. Okay, so air will have these spores. Apart from that, even soil will have these spores. So when you are working with these kind of materials, and even in the air, if it is there, the patients with comorbidities will have an issue. And it affects basically your sinus system. So these are the parts where your sinus is present. So it affects your nose. So you might have seen eyes, nose is mostly affected in this particular conditions. And in case the fungus is affecting your respiratory system, your lungs is affected. And this is the typical structure just to show you. Okay, and when it is affected, your patches of white patches can be seen throughout the lungs because of the infection. So coming to few warning signs of this disease. So as I told you, it starts with mild conditions, and if you neglect it, then it can become even severe. So these are few warning signs that are seen. So redness in the eyes, nose with fever are few symptoms, headaches, cough, shortness of breath. So these few symptoms might be similar to your COVID, but these are slightly different. So you have to identify these warning signs. You may have a bloody vomits, you may have altered medical state, you will have a lot of nasal discharge, and it can be blackish in nature or bloody in nature. You may have pain in your cheekbones. Okay, sometimes your cheekbones become numb, they start swelling, and they have seen even double vision or blurred vision in these kind of patients. And if it is infecting your skin, it can lead to ulcers, it can lead to skin lesions, necrosis conditions. And if it is affecting your lung system, you can have chest pain, you can have a worsening respiratory system. So your severity will increase as you move down. You can see that. Okay, so severity will increase. So you have to take care about these warning signs. And when you have mild warning signs itself, please consult your health provider so that they can guide you better. So coming to few of the symptoms of this disease, as I told you, it depends on where exactly this fungus is attacking your body. So in case this particular fungus is attacking your rhinocerebral system, that is your sinus and the brain, these are the few symptoms that are seen. So either the facial swelling, headaches, nasal congestion, some kind of discharge from your nose, blacky discharges, all can happen when you have a rhinocerebral kind of mucormycosis. But if you have something like pulmonary mucormycosis, that means the fungus has infected your lung. So there you can have fever, cough, chest pain, and shortness of breath. If it is infecting your skin, as I told you, you can have blisters or ulcers in your skin. You may have your reddish patches. You may have certain swelling around the wound. So these kind of infections can happen in your skin. And if it is infecting your gastrointestinal system, you can have abdominal pain, you can have nausea, vomiting. Okay, so these are few symptoms that you can see when it affects your gastrointestinal system. So coming to disseminated mucormycosis, so this is typically seen in people who are already sick with some kind of medical conditions. So when you are already sick, you can have this kind of disseminated mucormycosis. That is, this fungus is infecting throughout your body, not a particular organ. It is disseminated throughout the body, and this can be more dangerous. That is why this is getting a lot of importance, and people are worried about this kind of disseminated mucormycosis kind of condition. And if you're not treating it at the right stage, if you're not undergoing treatments, even it can lead to loss of upper jaws, or even it can lead to loss of eyesight. So this is a small newspaper cutting which I found on this particular topic. So you can see she's having some nasal discharges. They are showing a microscopic image of mucus species to make you analyze that the nasal discharge can be analyzed to check if these kind of species, that is the mucus species, are there in the fluids. Again, you can see there is an eye infection in this particular lady. So in this way, you can see a lot of infections can happen, and if you treat it at the right stage, this is not a deadly disease. So coming to how to diagnose this disease, as I told you, simple fluids, the nasal discharge, and can be used for analyzing this particular organism, that is the fungus, by sending that sample of fluid to the laboratory, making a smear of it, heat fixing it, and viewing it under the microscope after suitable staining techniques. So once you do this, definitely you can identify if these kind of mucus species or rhizopus species are there in that fluid samples, which indirectly tells you that person is suffering from mucormycosis. Apart from that, you can even have a tissue biopsy done. So in case it is affecting your other organs of the body, you can have a tissue biopsy done, and you can check the tissue under the microscope to see if this kind of fungal cultures are there in that particular tissues. And if it is affecting your lung and other systems like sinus, you can have a CT scan done to check if it is infecting your body. And if it is in disseminated type, you can have a serum PCR test done to check if this fungus is growing on your body, or if it is leading to this kind of medical conditions, that is mucormycosis. So how to prevent this disease? So as I told you, it is an opportunistic pathogen which is there everywhere. It might be there in the air, it might be there in the soil. So you have to take care about yourself. So use masks, okay? When you are going to these sites, dirty sites, where it might be a dump yard or it might be a construction site which is very dirty. So then definitely your chances of getting infected is reduced. Again, when you're using or working with manure or you're working with garden soil, definitely try to wear your gloves, trousers, sleeves, shirts, okay, so that your attack or your chance of getting infected by these organisms are reduced, because you know you're already not that strong with your immune system once you are suffered from COVID. So definitely, if you try to follow these precautions, you can try to prevent these diseases. And maintaining personal hygiene, which is also a mantra for COVID-19 management. Please keep washing your hands every now and then, and see to it you maintain your personal hygiene. So coming to how to manage COVID-19 patients with mucormycosis. So COVID-19 patients are already suffering with this disease, and they are having a less immune, they're not having very strong immunity with them. So here they will require a lot of people who will be working for the treatment of this mucormycosis now. So these are the team members, and you can see there are a lot of specialists involved here. So we require microbiologists, because we have to do a smear of this fluid that we get, and we have to analyze this particular fluid to see if there are these kind of fungus growing in the fluids. So microbiologists are required. We'll require internal medical specialists or medicine specialists to suggest few medicines during these stages. We'll require neurologists in case this particular fungus has infected the brain. Then definitely neurologists are required. Their support is required. ENT specialists, because we have seen a lot of cases where it infects the eyes, nose. So these kind of area, when infection is there, their specialization will be important. Ophthalmologists, which work on eyes. Dentistry, which work on your teeth and your jawbones. So jawbone related issues, they can tackle it. And will require a few surgeons also, definitely, because in case the severity is more, then definitely I've told you that you may have to undergo surgery to remove the jawbone. So in this case, oral and maxillofacial related surgeons will be required to have this surgery done. So in this way, you have a lot of experts which are working together in collaboration, so that this management of mucormycosis can be done in a very effective way for COVID patients. So coming to few treatment steps, as I told you, in case you understand that this particular infection is there in you and you treat it at the right stage, it is not at all fatal, and it is not a new disease. It was there even before COVID-19. But if you do not take care about it, then definitely it is leading to issues. So these are few treatment steps, that is your amphotericin B injections have been suggested, and few antifungals like this particular compound has been suggested, which is a FDA approved drug. So usually they infuse your saline before they infuse this particular injection, and they give an antifungal therapy, and we know that fungal infections do not go that easily. You require a little more treatment in comparison with the antibacterial kind of treatment, where a small antibiotic for 4-5 days would be sufficient. But in case of antifungal therapy, you require a more rigorous treatment. So treatment goes for 15 to 21 days, and as per one of the reports, I saw that they have told they are giving 6 injections per day. So these are amphotericin B injection is given 6 injections per day as per the experts. but it may depend on what brand you're using, what concentration or what percentage of drug is there in that. Based on that, the injections might increase or decrease. But basically, to make you aware that there are certain antifungal agents and amphotericin B injections are commonly given for this particular treatment. So this is a site of IndiaMart to just show you few companies which are already producing this kind of antifungal injections. Cipla is producing it, and they are costing approximately 2,300 per vial, and some other companies also producing it, and they are selling it at 4,600 per pack. So you can see that there's a range in which these drugs are available. So if you're aware about the range, then only you can find out if this drug is available to you at the right price or it is in the black market. So to make you aware about the actual price range in which these drugs might be available, I've just put this particular website information to you. So few takeaway messages: as we all know, prevention is better than cure. So please take care about your health and see that if you have any kind of these infections which I told you, some kind of symptoms you are seeing after post-COVID recovery, please provide these kind of information to your doctors, because it's always better to inform them and get yourself treated at the early stage so that it does not turn to be fatal and it cannot lead to problems in you. So do not panic, just go and consult your doctors in case you feel that you have some of the symptoms which I already discussed with you. So, and also when your turn comes, please do take your COVID-19 vaccine. Okay, because we know once you take your vaccine, we have seen that the severity of this COVID-19 is decreasing to some extent. So definitely if your severity is going to decrease, your immune system is going to become strong. And if your immune system is going to become strong, definitely this kind of opportunistic pathogens cannot attack you. So see to it that you try to boost your immunity, stay positive, stay calm, and that will help you in fighting this particular kind of opportunistic pathogens. So these are the few references which I used to prepare this particular PPT that I'm sharing with you. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe the channel for more updates.